Oh, we're so lucky to have a very esteemed guest.
Esteemed, wow.
Esteemed, yeah. From you probably heard him on Nova and ABC Radio Adelaide Drive and Breakfast. The lovely Jules Schiller, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, thank you. Esteemed and lovely. I've got to come back again and again. I'm really excited to be here. I mean, we've had you on our show plugging what you do, so I'm glad you've returned the favour.
Yes, it's been great, mate. It's we did the World Cup of snacks for the ladies, the women's World Cup. So and that was a lot of fun. So that's last time I got a chance to work with you.
Yes, I love the fact we brought the ABC down to that level. You know, it used to be about geopolitics and the economy, social issues, and we had people debating whether twisties or what was it, twisties or burger rings were better, or fruit chops were better.
And what was the consensus?
I can't remember what one. I mean, there was a really violent backlash to the chicken twisty. I remember that kind of vividly, but I think it was fruit chocks, Big Al. I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was a bit of fruit chocks, and I kind of
That's
come up
only
with
right. That's only right.
Yeah, you're totally right. I think we both created some jingles as well for our favourites.
That's right. Well, it was post COVID, Scott. Everyone was kind of a little bit, whatever. We're all just trying to forget, but the World Cup of snacks. Thanks for reminding me of that, Big L.
So you were you born in Adelaide, Jules?
Yes, I've got an Adelaide origin story. Yes,
lovely.
So
that's what
my mum's from the southeast, so just over the border near Penola, Casterton. But my dad grew up in Melbourne. And he ended up here because he became an ASIO agent. I don't know if you've heard this story. To become a spy, you kind of think of the UK. You're a scholar, wandering around Oxford or Cambridge. You're doing masters in Russian or something. My dad was recruited by ASIO from the local football team, and not even a professional football team, a local amateur suburban football team, because some kid who was playing back pocket, his dad worked for ASIO, and he was like, who do you think would make a good spy? And he said, Peter Schiller. He's, playing the wing. He's good at defending the goal. Why not defend the nation? So, and his first posting was to Adelaide, and I mean, a hotbed of the Cold War, as you can imagine. And I love to talk to him about his spying days in Adelaide. I've got two favourite stories. One, that he infiltrated the Communist Party of Unley. And I'm just thinking...
There's a Communist Party of Unley?
In the 1960s. How many communists were in Unley plotting the downfall of capitalism in 1960? The second was when you're a spy, you need a code name. And the way you choose a code name is you choose the first two letters of your actual name. And then, so he was... Peter Schiller, he might have been Paul Schmidt or something. So he had been using this code name to, recruit agents from, students and people in Unley who were shopping for skirts. And when your mum is in that phase where she's labeling all your school uniforms and she's writing your name and just sewing it into everything. Well, she started to do labels for my dad and sew his name into his blazer and into his shirts and into everything. So one time he was passing information onto someone and his blazer slipped open and then written in it was Peter Schiller. So, broke his code name. But that was the sort of level of spying that my dad was famous for, guys.
Wow, that's
fantastic. Yeah.
It could have been just the name of the jacket, like a Peter Shearer.
Exactly.
It was a knockoff. They spell it wrong. That was it.
They did. But it was interesting life. I mean, I think the waterboarding sort of gave it away when I was about 15.
Which is a weird thing to do to your dad, but
does that still go on at the ABC when the ratings slip a bit?
Yeah, there's a rendition into Centrelink, I think. Right, when the ratings go down. That's across every station, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So you came back to Adelaide after doing radio all across Australia in about. Was it 2017 you moved back here?
I actually came back in 2004 for
Right.
Nova 919, and I was doing that with
Yes.
Jodie J. Hill, Tony Moclair,
Yeah.
and Ryan Fitzgerald. And boy, the early days of Nova 919 in Adelaide. Boy, we did some of the most rudimentary kind of promotions of all time. Remember that show Temptation Island? It was on Channel 7.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We did a version of that called Temptation Kangaroo Island in conjunction with Channel 7. So we got this guy over to Kangaroo Island with his ex-girlfriend and his current girlfriend. And the whole idea was he's going to go on a date with one and then a date with the other. And we're going to sort of, explore the tension. Is he going to go back? Is he going to stay with his current thing? And so they had these 2 nights. And it ended in the 3 of them all hooking up together. Which wasn't
Oh, wow.
wasn't really fit for Channel 7. They were from Christie's Beach, so what would you expect?
Yeah, that's right.
More an SBS sort of outcome. Yeah.
Triple the
kind of stuff.
Centrelink. That's amazing.
Yeah. And the other thing I used to do in Adelaide a lot was, work for the project. And do you remember that show, the Metro
Yes.
Whip, where they'd
Yeah,
go around
I do.
everyone and you'd say
Yeah.
what's going on in the city that night? Well,
Yeah.
Once I was in Rundle Mall and I was meant to interview these kind of Japanese clowns or something, and they just didn't turn up. And it's live TV, and they're going to the other cities, and they say, and I was saying to the producer, I haven't got anyone here. There's no one here. I can't. So the producer just says, well, you have to do something. Just do something. So it came to me, and I did the classic, there's nothing going on in Adelaide. You've got your comedy festivals in Melbourne and you've got your fireworks in Sydney. Just, there's a guy buying jeans at the men's land there. There's a guy having some stale sushi over there. I was like, there's nothing happening. Can you just leave us alone? Anyway, so I got a laugh and I thought, well, that's fine. And then the front page of the Advertiser the next day was local comedian disgraces Adelaide. And it was like I'd shame the city by saying nothing was happening. So they did a poll in the Advertiser the next day. They said, do you think this comedian disgraced the city? And it was yes. And the second question was, do you think nothing is actually happening in Adelaide? And it was also yes.
So you just can't mention it.
You can't win. But yes, the Metro Whip.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, we've got 3 Cafe de Villiers, so they're open 24 hours.
That's right. We've got some disused Le Cornu sites. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's plenty.
Well, I think there's actually only 2 Cafe de Villiers because the one on
right.
North East Road has actually gone under, and now another cafe is there.
I was there Saturday night.
Okay. Really? Gone
The one
under?
on North East Road?
Yeah. Oh,
I don't
hang
think that
on.
was the Villiers,
No,
mate.
I was at the one on Main North Road on Saturday.
Oh,
The one
yes,
on
Main North
East
Road.
Road's
And hey, look, I know my pies.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know your snacks.
Yeah,
When do we do the World Cup of pies, Al? Come back.
Oh, we should do. Well, it's a World Cup this year, so maybe that's what we need to do, is bring it out.
Yes.
Oh. And you won a couple of arias, did you not?
Yes. Thanks for bringing that up. Shall I go? No, yes. So what we won two arias for Guido, who was kind of like a Greek Adonis who used to make calls back in the late 90s. Yeah, it was kind of a lot of fun, but it really sort of is a window into a time when you could actually make money from comedy, because all those calls ended up on CDs.
Yes.
And we used to kind of go on tour to various nightclubs around Australia, and Tony and I would do an act with Guido, and then you'd sell the CD and you'd get money. But I kind of think now it'd all go online. In fact, it all is online, and you kind of lose that ability to monetize things.
Yeah, right. So is there a call for further live shows or like a comeback?
No. Have you done that thing where you've got that stuff where people go, "What were you up to in the 90s?" That kind of
yes,
stuff.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'd want to go back there. Not really. Not really. Yeah, but yeah, so Guido was good. But I sort of started at Triple M and Triple J in kind of the 90s as well.
Yeah.
I did this show actually on Triple J that I don't think anyone remembers, but I reckon it's my favorite radio experience. It was called Restoring the Balance.
Yeah,
So
I remember that. It was kind of a bit like a podcast, right?
it was weird. Scott and Elle, because we went to Triple J and said, I'll play a young national called Tom Tomlinson, and Tony Moakley would play Sterling Addison, a young Liberal, and we'll say that Triple J is too left wing, and we need 2 hours of conservative radio by conservative youth, to restore the balance. And so we created this, Tony's character was, virulently anti-Catholic. He went to a private school in Sydney, and I was one of those young nationals who, his father owned 100,000 hectares and just got drunk and went on Kentucky tours the whole time. But when we went on Triple J, we didn't say it was a joke, and we would do talkback only for privately educated listeners. So we would start with a national anthem. Tony Moakley used to write love ballads to Melanie Howard, John Howard's daughter. And for the first 4 weeks before people realised it was a joke, it was abuse after abuse after abuse. And it was great fun. Yeah, restoring the balance.
Oh,
probably
God,
the
that's
best
fantastic.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are there still copies of that? Can people listen to it now? You should release it as a podcast. It probably holds up.
I don't know. I remember we had Mark Lathan on once, and being a young national, I was kind of outraged that he had, remember he called John Howard an arse licker or something in Parliament? I think it was.
Yeah, cool.
And being the young national, I was like, you can't use women like that in front of the, language like that in front of the ladies. There are ladies listening, ladies. And I can't remember if this was on air or off air, but I think it was on. He leaned forward to me and said, Tom, would you prefer I use a more official term like rimming? And at this stage, he was leader.
Oh, God.
At the time I thought, this guy's going for Prime Minister.
Yeah.
But now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, are you allowed to say rimming on this podcast? I should have run that by you, shouldn't I?
Yeah, I don't think the kids would know what it meant, to be honest. So it's all good. It's all good.
Oh, far worse has been said. That's
okay, good. Yeah, that never happened on World Cup of Snacks, did it?
No, definitely didn't. No. Yeah, you'd think it would have happened on the Burgerings, but no.
Well, we're really appreciative to have you on, and we'd love for you to come back again if you can at some point.
I would love to come on. It's been a lot of fun, guys.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. And sorry to keep you up. We know that I often wonder, because I used to do a bit of brekkie radio in Port Pirie back in the day, and I used to just pre-record my first hour so I could get a sleep in. I take it a professional like you doesn't do that. But what time do you usually go to bed?
Oh, yeah, probably about 9:30, 10 or something. But I mean, I find it really kind of hard to sleep. Get up at 4. You get in there about 4. Wow. But when you get in at 4:30, but when you're doing commercial radio, it's all about we're talking about Miley Cyrus's new video and who's been eliminated from The Bachelor. But at the ABC, it's like, the Shadow Treasurer's got a 1,000-page productivity report out, and it's so different what you've got to get your head around, and so. On Triple M back in the day, you could just tell a really bad joke and you just hit that button, the Triple M, and you just get out. Get out. But on the ABC, the interviews go for 12 minutes. You can't you can't just. Right. I remember Tony Moakley once, we were looking for a joke to get out of this talk break, and we were talking about a BNS ball. And he always regrets it, but he said, what does the BNS stand for? And in his mind, he's trying to find something funny. And he goes, is it barristers and solicitors? Triple M. And I'm like, it's not even a joke. We went to the Whisper, Triple M. Barristers and solicitors. Yes. But yes, those are the days.
We've got to get one of those. We've got to get someone whispering.
Get a Whisper.
Adelaide Tonight. Adelaide Tonight. Triple M.
Yes. Yeah.
While they're at your front window.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We're very appreciative.
Cheers, guys. See you next time.